Good morning, everyone. It's Carly here. I was listening to a podcast the other day and I heard the guy say it's easier to act yourself into a new way of thinking than to think your way into a new way of acting. And it kind of reminded me of some stuff that I've watched Tony Robbins do with people who are in depression. And to show them how, not easy, that's not the right word, but to show them how in control they are of getting out of their depression. So if you haven't seen what I'm talking about, then I'll explain it to you. So what Tony does is he gets people in the audience who are experiencing depression. He kind of will speak to someone one-on-one, and he'll ask them to really get into their depression. You know, what is it that they're thinking? What kind of self-talk do they have when they're in depression? What is it that they do with their body? And, you know, what's really going on with their body, in their chest, in their stomach area. And you'll see them really get into it and they're really kind of slumped down. And, you know, if you've ever kind of felt sad or been in depression, then you'll know what I'm talking about. Your whole physiology changes. And you carry yourself in a different way. So you'll kind of slump down, you'll look at, you know, you find them looking at the floor, they'll be kind of all hunched over and they'll really be getting into it. And Tony will kind of get them to rate it on a scale of 0 to 10, you know, how depressed they're feeling, and they'll rate it really high. And then he'll do something random like chuck some water on them, or he'll ask them when was the last time they gave their husband a blowjob, and it will just snap them out of it. Because they'll be really shocked, right? They'll think, what are you doing? You know, you just chucked water on me, or you asked me a really personal question. And then he'll say, oh, sorry, can you get back to being depressed? And the whole audience will laugh and they'll kind of realize what he was doing. And it's harder for them to get back into depression, to get back to exactly where they were before he snapped them out of it. So he's kind of teaching them then that it is something that you're doing. It's a behavioral thing. Yes, there's chemistry going on in your mind as well. Yes, there's responses and reactions to what's going on in your life. But to a certain extent, you are in control of it. And when you're in depression, you don't feel like you are. So he gets them to, you know, try and get themselves back to the space that they were in, and they just find it a bit more challenging than they did before. So if you kind of look at the other side of that, where, you know, we're told in positive thinking theories that you can just take your negative thinking and flip it into a more positive statement, basically the opposite of what you're thinking before. So if you're walking around thinking, God, I'm feeling so sad, I'm feeling so depressed, then you're supposed to think, I'm feeling really happy and vibrant. But it's really, you know, from there to there is a really big gap, right? When you're actually feeling in depression, it's really hard. And so to trick yourself into thinking something different is much harder than to act yourself into a new way of being, yeah? So when, say, for example, you have a job interview or you're giving a presentation at work and you need that confidence and you're feeling really nervous, yeah? Imagine, maybe take someone that you look up to, or that someone that you see is a really strong, powerful woman or man that you might aspire to be like if you're giving a presentation or if you're needing confidence for a job interview. How would they act? A lot of the time, someone like Pink, you know, the singer Pink, would be a really good example of that. You know, how would Pink attack a job interview? How would Pink give a presentation? She's fierce, she's dominant, you know, she'd walk in there and she would just totally own it. So think about how she would hold herself. You know, if you're full of confidence and you're going into a job interview, you stand up tall, you look people in the eye, you give a firm handshake, you know, so do all those things, even if you're feeling really nervous, do all those things anyway. If you're feeling sad and you want to feel happier, how do you hold yourself when you're feeling happy? What kind of language are you using? What kind of things are you doing? Do them and act yourself into a new way of thinking, because you're kind of tricking your mind in a way, but it does work. And, you know, it's kind of aligned with the fake it till you make it kind of thing. But, you know, it's more than that. It's really putting your body in a physiological state, in a behavioral state where you are eventually going to end up where you want to be. So take your day to day, see what's going on with your day. Is there anything that you're going to be finding challenging to do? If so, try and think about how your best self would attack that thing. How would your best self behave in that situation? And then do that and see the difference that it makes. I'd love to hear your feedback on that as well. So if you're unsure about how to approach it, then just let me know, drop me a message, and I'll kind of I'll give you some tips and ideas. And yeah, I'd love to hear your feedback on how that went for you today. Have an amazing day, everyone.